Construction heavy Construction heavy equipment. Construction sites are the most common place to find heavy machineries and equipment. It is essential to manage these machines with extreme care and caution due to their large size, weight, and the jobs they perform. Construction sites often houses heavy machinery vital for building infrastructures, and their safe management is crucial due to their size and critical tasks they perform in constructing structures like bridges, highways, and buildings. Construction heavy equipment makes our life easier, especially in construction, but proper maintenance and handling should be properly observed. Here are some of the equipment essential in the construction, and the first one is a backhoe. It is a versatile machine commonly utilized in construction for excavation, trenching, and even foundation digging. It is also used in road work, landscaping, and utility installation. And their distinctive feature is the integrating a digging basket on the back arm and the loader bucket on the front, and the ball's efficient performance of both excavation and the loading tasks on a construction site. The next one is a bulldozer. This is primarily used for earth moving. A bulldozer is a powerful construction machine primarily used for pushing large quantities of soil, debris, and other materials on construction sites. Its distinctive feature is a large blade attached to the front, which enables the level terrain, clear land, and perform heavy earth-moving tasks efficiently. The next two is a crane and compactor. The first one is the crane. A crane is a vital piece of construction equipment used for lifting and moving heavy materials and objects on construction sites. Its distinctive feature is the long arm or boom, and often equipped with a hoist and cable, which enables it to reach great heights and distance to perform lifting tasks with precision and efficiency. The next one is compactor, which is specialized in specialized construction machine used to compress and flatten surfaces such as soil, gravel, and asphalt, create a stable foundation or road surfaces. Its distinctive feature is its roller or plate, which applies pressure to material reducing voids and increasing density for improved stability and durability. The next one is a dump truck. A dump truck is a robust vehicle commonly used in construction to transport loose materials such as sand, gravel, and debris from one location to another. Its distinctive feature is the hydraulically operated dump bed, which allows the truck to unload its cargo and depositing the materials at the desired site quickly and efficiently. The next one is a forklift. It is a versatile industrial truck primarily used for lifting and transporting heavy materials over short distance within the warehouse, factory, or even the construction sites. Its distinctive feature is a pair of forks attached to the front, which can be raised and lowered hydraulically to lift pallets, crates, and other objects for efficient and handling placement. The next three equipment will be discussed by Mark.
So next is the trenchers. These heavy machines is essential for excavating trenches, are crucial in laying pipelines and cables or establishing drainage systems. So itong heavy equipment na to is baka hindi tayo medyo familiar. So yung trenchers is mostly ginagamit siya kapag kailangan natin maggawa ng paglalagyan ng mga tubo natin or yung mga pipes nga natin sa ilalim ng lupa. So gumagana yung trenchers natin na parang nilalagari niya yung lupa tapos magkakaroon na ng hati doon na pwede natin paglagyan ng mga tubo or cables natin. Next is the excavator. The excavator is known for excavation but can also lift heavy loads, demolish, dredge rivers, and cut trees. Its standout feature is the cabin's 360-degree rotation, enabling operators to handle multiple tasks without moving the machine. So, itong heavy equipment naman na to is baka medyo familiar tayo kasi lagi natin siya nakikita. So, from the term itself, yung excavator, ginagamit siya kapag maghuhukay tayo or excavate. Kasi meron tong panghukay nga ng lupa. And mas mabilis siyang gamitin kasi yung cabin na tinatawag is kaya niyang umikot ng 360. So, hindi na kailangan magmaniobra or gamitin yung gulong para lang makapaghukay ng mas madali. Next is the loaders. These are pivotal in the construction industry, primarily transporting materials like excavated soil, demolition waste, and other raw materials across construction sites. So, ito, mas madali naman siyang gamitin kapag mas malayo yung itatransport natin na excavated soil. Kasi, syempre, mas madali kasing gamitin yung excavator natin. Like, for example, maghuhukay ka sa point A to point B, pero magkalapit lang. So, pwede nang gamitin yun na excavator lang. Pero kapag, for example, medyo malayo yung point A to point B natin, and mas madami kasi na ilalagay na or nadadala na lupa tong loaders natin. So, mas madali siyang gamitin. Ayan, makikita nyo dito. Materials, transport materials like excavated soil and demolition waste. Next, meron tayo ditong common type of heavy equipment accident. So, first is getting pinned against a wall or any stationary object by heavy equipment. Next, getting stuck or caught in and dragged along by heavy equipment. Getting rolled over or crushed by heavy equipment. Falling from a platform attached to heavy equipment. Getting hit by heavy equipment. Getting struck by a moving part of a heavy machine. Kung dito mapapansin nyo, more on heavy equipment siya kasi madami talagang pwedeng mangyari na aksidente kapag involved yung mga heavy equipment natin. Kasi sa paggamit ng heavy equipment, marami siyang blind spot or yung mga location na hindi na masyado nakikita ng operator natin. So, iyon yung mga bagay or yung mga place na medyo prone sa aksidente. Which is also dapat kung worker tayo or kahit as an engineer or basta nagtatrabaho tayo sa site or field, dapat alam natin yun yung mga location na yun kasi baka nga mag-cause yun na accident and mahirap na. Baka possible kasi talaga na makakuha yun na buhay. Yan. Next, getting struck by a moving part of a heavy machine. Getting caught or struck between the moving parts of a heavy machine. Getting struck by heavy object or dropped load from a heavy machine. Next, falling while assembling or disassembling heavy machine. And last, getting electrocuted while operating a heavy machine or while working on a platform attached to a heavy machine due to accidental contact with a power line. So, dito naman mga heavy machine. Kasi magkaiba yung mga equipment natin and machines. For example, yung mga generator, di ba? Yun, mga heavy machine yun. And minsan ginagamitan ng heavy equipment para i-transfer yung heavy machine. So, possible na pagkapangit yung pagkakatali, gano'n. Possible na mag-cause yun na aksidente, pwedeng malaglagan yung mga trabahador natin. So, dapat always keep in mind as a worker yung mga possible na mangyari and yung mga blind spot na tinatawag. Lalo kung yung heavy machines or heavy equipment natin is in operation. Kung ginagamit siya, dapat talaga maging maingat tayo all the time. Next, meron tayo ditong equipment safety management. First is the management commitment. And under that is meron tayong restrict entry onto site of non-essential personnel. Also, establish entry points to site. So, dapat parang sinasabi dito na dapat alam ng lahat ng trabahador natin kung saan lang pwedeng pumasok. No? Para siguro dahil parang naaano na rin natin, monitor na rin natin kung sino ba yung mga tao na pumapasok doon sa certain area na yun. Kasi baka mamaya wala pala siyang proper knowledge kung ano yung mga ginagawa doon. So, mahirap na baka maging aksidente pa, mag-result pa sa di magandang bagay. So, establish entry points to site. Ganun lang rin. Parang Dapat alam nyo na, dito sa lugar na to dapat pumasok bago magtrabaho. Ganun, para na monitor nga. Next is provide fundamental site rules and training to all persons at risk. So, siguro dito parang general rules lang din or general guidelines kung ano ba yung mga dapat nilang tandaan. Lalo, for example, yun nga, pwede na kasi maging rule yung kung saan lang papasok, dapat doon lang talaga. Or kahit kunwari saan lalabas, or bago lalabas, dapat dumaan muna sa gantong lugar para ma-ensure yung safety ng mga workers natin. Next is meron tayong employee involvement. First, all must receive basic orientation. So, ayun, mga general explanation or introduction sa kanila kung ano yung mga dapat nilang malaman or dapat ma-orient sila sa kung ano ba yung pinapasok nilang trabaho. Ganun. Next is attend toolbox meetings. So, yung toolbox meetings, normally ginagawa to every day, every morning bago mag-start yung work natin. So, parang dito magsasabi ng general or basic orientation yung isang engineer sa kung ano ba yung mga dapat nilang i-accomplish, ano yung dapat nilang alalahanin para maging maayos yung flow ng work natin and at the same time, ma-ensure yung safety nila. Next, must learn, follow, and obey established safety rules. So, parang baliwala kasi yung mga rules na sinet mo kung hindi naman nila malalaman or iintindihin and at the same time, hindi nila susundin. So, dapat talaga nasusunod nila yon and dapat lagi nilang iniisip or inaalala yung mga rules na yun. Next, pang third natin is meron tayong pre-construction job hazard analysis. Identify potential known hazards. So, as a worker, parang pagsabihan natin sila na dapat aware din sila sa paligid nila and dapat tinitignan na nila or chine-check na nila kung ano ba yung mga posibleng pagmulan ng accident. So, dapat ano na nila, isipin na nila kung possible ba na mag-cause ng hazard yun. At the same time, gawa na nila ng paraan kung kaya naman nila. For example, meron nakakalat dyan na pako o mamaya may mga tusok pa. So, itabi na nila or itapon na nila kaysa magiging aksidente pa mga ganong bagay. Ayun.
Equipment safety management. Number 4. Hazard prevention and controls includes perimeter fencing, enclosures and signs, spotters provided for in the blind backing machines and or equipment. Be alert, stay clear, and hear warnings. Number 5. Equipment maintenance includes duly certified mechanics and operators shall conduct daily inspection, inspect before operation, check instrumentation, check safety devices, warm up and make trial runs, keep machine clean and be aware of abnormalities. Safe operation guidelines. Authorized operators should be qualified with license, well-trained and have good physical condition. Under physical condition, stay focused, handle stress, pay attention to details, remain calm under pressure, work well with others. Salient points, heavy equipment operators should be tested and certified. Personal protection includes hard hats and helmets, gloves, safety glasses and goggles, respiratory protection, vest and coveralls, safety shoes and boots. Safety rules. Check job site condition, soil condition, working near utilities. Heavy equipment should be tested and certified. Alertness. Know where your blind spots are. Look for people walking around you. Stop when signaled, when wave at violently, and if you are in doubt. Maintain a safe operating speed. Inappropriate use, specific equipment operation, equipment capacity, equipment capability, and equipment restriction. Avoiding distractions. Small machines have small blind spots, where large machines have large blind spots. Both can cause serious injury or death. The taller and wider the machine, the bigger the blind spot area. These are some examples of concerned personnel: equipment operator, working on foot, spotters, management people and supervisors, and other construction site personnel.
hazard present in construction, heavy equipment operation, moving parts of the equipment, risk injury from being caught, crushed, or stuck by moving parts, uneven terrain, increased risk of equipment tipping over or losing control due to unstable ground, and energized electrical lines, danger of electrocution if equipment come into contact with live wires, fall, potential for falls from heights or into excavation while operating or servicing equipment, dust, respiratory issue and reduced visibility caused by airborne dust particles, overload equipment, overloaded equipment, equipment failure or tipping due to excessive load posing a safety hazard, noise, hearing damage or communication difficulties from prolonged exposure to loud equipment noise, vibration, long-term health issues such as hand-arm vibration syndrome from continuous exposure to equipment vibrations, unsecured loads, risk of falling or shifting load leading to accident or injuries, improvised attachment, increase the risk of equipment failure or malfunction when using non-standard attachment, blind spot, limited visibility around the equipment raising the likelihood of collision or runovers. Next is the responsibility of workers on foot. Where high visibility gear use high visibility gear vests and appropriate PPE to ensure the visibility to equipment operator and other workers. Maintain a safe distance. Keep a safe distance from large machinery to avoid accidents. Third is to be aware of blind spots. Stay conscious of equipment blind spot and never assume the operator can see you. Avoid riding on machinery. Do not ride on step or draw bars of machinery to prevent significant risk. And lastly, stay alert. Be vigilant for swinging components and react quickly to potential hazard to enhance overall safety. Next is spotter's responsibility. Use high visibility vests and appropriate PPE for clear visibility. Use clear signals. Employ easily understood hand signal or traffic control tool to guide equipment operators. And lastly, stay visible. Be aware of operators' visibility restrictions, remain in the operator site, and establish eye contact before signaling. Next is the equipment operator responsibilities. Learn and follow safe work practices. Familiarize yourself with manufacturer's operating manual, perform pre-operational checks on equipment, and understand and correctly utilize safety feature or on equipment. Ensure all lights, backup alarms, seat belts, mirrors, shield, and safety guards are intact and functional. Stay observant of pedestrian and other machinery in the vicinity. Identify blind spot and regularly check mirrors. Avoid underground utilities and overhead power lines. Be responsible of signals and always follow the spotter's instruction.
So continuing the report, equipment operator responsibilities. Next is cease operation when signaled with at vigorously or when uncertain. So syempre, kasama sa trabaho nila is syempre yung pagtingin nila sa mga signal. Meron naman tayong mga indicators dyan at meron tayong mga naka-assign din minsan na tao para sumignal sa operator ng equipment kung in case na delikado na or hindi na pwede yung inaasahan nila na dapat gawin. So, next is maintain a safe operating pace. So, syempre, sa pag-operate naman, hindi naman palagi na kailangan nagmamadali ka. So, mas mabuti yung nasa slow pace ka lang nga. Pero at the same time, nandoon ka at naipa-progress mo yung mga dapat gawin. So, syempre, safety comes first. So, next is operate within the equipment specified capacity. So, syempre, kung ang crane mo is kaya lang is around 10,000 tons, syempre, hindi naman pwede na pilitin mo yan na mas malaki pa dun sa capacity niya. Syempre, it could bring you accidents and syempre, problema yon. Mahirap na dumating pa tayo sa punto na yun. So, report any irregularities, defects, or unsafe conditions. Take the machine out of service if it's unsafe to practice. So, once na dapat alam ni operator na kapag may nakita siya or may napansin siya na anomalya or defects sa isang equipment, dapat nire-report niya agad yon sa kanyang officer or nakakataas. So, para naman mabantaan or malagyan ng precaution na hindi pwede munang i-operate itong equipment na to at siya ay mag-undergo sa maintenance. So, refrain from attempting repairs or maintenance beyond your comprehension. Kaya nga tayo meron mga mechanic Sila yung bihasa dyan. So, ibigay na natin yung trabaho na yun para sa kanila. So, ang maganda gawin ni operator dyan is to, yun nga, ulitin ko, is to report the anomalies at nang sa gayon ay makagawa ng precautionary measures yung mga officers natin at yung mga nakakataas sa atin at makapag-hire sila ng professionals or mechanics na nakakaalam kung paano i-company yung mga equipment na mayroon tayo. So next is never get on or off of moving machinery. Siyempre, parang kotse lang yan. Kapag ka nag-undergo ka ng operation, siyempre, di pa pwede na maglabas-pasok ka dyan. Kasi, nandyan yung hazard. Hindi natin alam kung ano pa pwedeng mangyari. So, park safely, engage parking brakes, turn off the engine and remove the key before exiting. So, sa pagpapark, syempre kailangan, of course, naka-brakes tayo. No, mahirap naman yung maiwanan natin na hindi pala naka-parking brakes. So, it could lead to another accidents. Mahirap na at baka mamaya umatras bigla or baka mamaya bumaba bigla kung ano man yung may inaangat man tayo na cranes. So, always switch off the engine before refueling. So, parang ano lang yan, sasakyan natin. So, delikado. Nandyan yung hazard, no? Kapag talagang nakabukas yung engine natin habang nagre-refuel. So, ugaliin natin at dapat ipaalam din natin sa operator natin. So next is the DO13 on heavy equipment. So section 7.2 sinasabi dito na the general constructor must provide for one construction safety and health officer for every 10 units of heavy equipment assigned to the project site to oversee the effective compliance with the construction safety and health program at the construction project site. So sinasabi lang dito na yung mga GenCon natin or general constructor, dapat mag-assign sila ng one safety officer in every 10 heavy equipment na meron or gagamitin sila. So, mahalaga yon kasi hindi naman pwede na overloading na yung ino-oversee ng ating mga officers. So, in some cases na 20 or higher than 20 na yung heavy equipment natin, syempre, kailangan natin yung katumbas na officer na mag-oversee sa kanila. So, section 10.1-A All heavy equipment operators assigned at the project site must be tested and certified in accordance with a standard trade test prescribed by TESDA in coordination with its accredited organizations. So, syempre, hindi lang basta-basta tayo mag-hire or mag-a-appoint ng operator sa mga heavy equipment natin. Syempre, kailangan din na meron silang certification in accordance with the standard, no? So, saan ba sila nag-training? Dapat meron silang mapakita na certification na natapos nila yung certain hours or say certain days na program for or operating that specific or equipment. So, sa section 10.2.4-A, only duly certified operators shall be allowed to operate their designated heavy equipment. So, syempre, di naman pwede na hindi ito katulad ng kotse na kung nagda-drive ka ng sedan, pwede ka na mag-drive ng pickup, pwede ka na mag-drive ng motor. So, syempre, dito, dapat naka-specific na. So, kung nagda-drive ka ng let's say, excavator, hindi pwede na basta-basta ka lang mag-ooperate ng isang biglaan na magke-crane ka. Crane operator ka na. Siyempre, hindi pwedeng ganun dahil iba yung operation procedures na kinakailangan sa specific equipment na yun. So, kailangan mo ng certificate, another certificate na magpapatunay na ready or meron kang natapos sa program sa pag-ooperate ng ganitong equipment. So next is 5 basic guidelines on heavy equipment operation. First is to understand the correct operation of the equipment you're using. Kagaya nga na sinasabi ko kanina na dapat bilang isang operator, dapat alam mo kung paano papatakbuhin yung equipment na i-operate mo. So, hindi dapat na alam mo yung isang equipment or sabi nating excavator nga. Hindi pwedeng sabihin mo na sanay ka rin mag-operate ng crane without any experience. Sasabihin mo lang na meron kang experience sa excavator so kaya mo na mag-operate. Hindi pa pwedeng ganun. So avoid operating heavy machinery when fatigued, under the influence, or on medication that may impair your performance. O syempre, big deal talaga yung pag-ooperate ng heavy machinery. Hindi lang basta-basta yan. So kailangan nasa condition ka physically and mentally. So hindi pa pwedeng pagod ka, galing nakainom ka, or nagme-medication ka dahil sa pagme-medication mo na aapektuhan yung sigla mo or yung capability mo. Hindi pa pwede na ganun. So, utilize equipment suitable for the task at hand. I-utilize natin kung ano yung meron tayo sa equipment na available sa site. Kailangan sanay tayo kung paano i-maximize or use it in efficient way. So, prior to commencing work, inspect equipment to confirm it's in proper working order and conduct routine maintenance checks as needed. So, sa equipment, syempre, mahalaga rin. Parang tao lang din yan. Mahalaga rin na tumatakbo siya na maayos. So, kailangan palagi siyang ini-inspect at nasisiguro natin na nagagampanan niya pa yung trabaho or yung gampanin niya. So, kailangan maganda, meron tayong laging maintenance na chine-check kung ano man yung dapat i-check sa kanya or ano man yung mga posibleng or pangkaraniwan na defect ng isang machinery or ng specific equipment. So 5 is avoid placing undue strain or overloading on your equipment. So syempre, yung katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi pa pwede na ang limit ng isang equipment is 10,000 tons ay lalagyan mo ng 15,000 tons. So syempre, by logic, overtime or biglaan na lang, siyempre biglang bibigay yan. Hindi yan magwo-work kung papaano natin siya ine-expect mag-work. So mahihirapan at worst case scenario, masisira yan at magli-lead pa yan sa aksidente. So kailangan natin i-avoid yung placing undue strain. So thank you. This is our report about heavy equipments and we are the group 4. Sana marami kayong natutunan on about the safetyness and the operation of heavy equipment. So yun lamang po. Thank you.